do not move to Thailand. First, I'll explain 3 things most travel gurus get wrong and how starting a business here is probably not the greatest idea. Then, stick around to the end to hear my recommendations if you truly do want to make Thailand your second home. Back in 2012, my wife and I first moved out to Thailand. By 2018, we decided to start a research social enterprise. But why would I say do not move to Thailand? So what does everyone get wrong? One of the most common misconceptions about Thailand is the visa situation. This will also depend on your nationality, but what many people get wrong is that many embassies now make it difficult to get repeat tourist visas without an extended stay outside of the country. It's not impossible, but much, much harder these days. Meaning, if you're paying rent on a lease and your next tourist visa gets denied, you are now forced to have an extended holiday away from home just to get another visa. Essentially, long-term stays require something more than a tourist visa, which leads me to the second misconception. Anyone can teach English. Yes, there are some schools that have lax requirements, and yes, some schools even advertise that all you need is a TEFL or TESOL certification. And there are many, many more people teaching English these days, which means competition is much, much tougher. These schools that have minimal requirements will also likely pay much less. Most schools, especially higher end schools, have a minimum requirement of a bachelor's degree, the English certification, and a passport from a native English speaking country. The higher paying schools will usually only hire you if you have an advanced degree of some sort, specifically in education. Racism, like anywhere else in the world, can be found here. When I first moved here, I had applied to teach science at a local school. The principal realized that I had Filipino descent and therefore decided to offer me less than half of the advertised minimum salary. This was despite my bachelor's in philosophy, a master's degree in environmental science, years of working experience, and being a native English speaker. So, of course, I turned it down and they ended up not having a teacher for 12 months. Some schools justify paying less because the cost of living is less, which overall it is, but this leads to the third misconception, that Thailand is dirt cheap. Yeah, Thailand is pretty cheap, and I can't deny that. But if you're making a low salary, cheap is still not cheap enough. Many of my friends who teach in this region simply refuse to teach in Thailand because they cannot save enough and it is not worthwhile for them. But hold on, let's assume you have other income. Then yes, living here can be cheaper, depending on where you live, the living accommodations, and the amenities. The price range is still huge. Here in Chiang Mai, it is anywhere from 500 baht a month to well over 40,000 a month. And then factor in AC during the hot season, which can be anywhere from 600 to 3,000 baht. But Jonathan, the food is dirt cheap. Again, it depends. If you eat Thai street food, then yes, you can get meals for about 30 to 60 baht. Let's be honest with ourselves. If you plan to live someplace long term, then you will likely want to broaden your food experience beyond just street Thai food. If you want non-Thai meals, then your average meal is going to be 150 to 350 baht. Decent Japanese, for instance, will likely be 350 to 600 baht. Even a burger will be within the range of 350 and up. Cheap local beers will also run you 50 to 100 baht. But anything decent with flavors, you're looking at more around 250. So yes, it's cheaper. Thailand often claims to be business friendly, but in reality, their policies really only support large corporations. Small and medium enterprises like mine will have a much harder time operating here unless they are fully Thai owned. As I mentioned earlier, My wife and I started a research social enterprise. Starting a business in Thailand has been very rewarding. Don't get me wrong. But it is also a lot of hurdles. And I do mean a lot. Since we are both foreigners and owners of this business, there are some requirements that must be fulfilled. For one thing, all businesses must be 51% owned by a Thai entity, either a person or a Thai business. Therefore, the very, very beginning, you must trust fully and completely the Thai owner you bring on board. If you are American, you can own a business 100% under the Treaty of Amity. But financial requirements, again, are only achievable for large corporations. If there are any foreign owners, the company is required to have a minimum of 2 to 3 million baht for registered capital. Not really chump change. And then third, visa requirements are a pain. Even if you are an owner, you can only get a business visa under specific conditions. You must have enough personal capital per person applying for the visa, around 20,000 USD. And for most positions, you'll need to have 4 Thai staff paid on Social Security for every foreign visa sponsored. Then finally, you absolutely should not work without a work permit. Of course, there are ways around all of these regulations, but you would need to consult a Thai lawyer for all of these options. So even after all of these things, you still want to come here and start a business. These are the recommendations that I would give. 1, if you plan to move out here permanently, do a 90-day tourist visa first. Spend some time, find your location, find your people. But do all of that on your 90-day tourist visa first. You want to ensure that you check the spaces out first before you jump straight in and start investing. Second, you are more likely to get multiple tourist visas if you fly out of Thailand, rather than taking the land border crossings. While the land crossings are cheaper, you are much more likely to get denied if you do that route multiple times. 3, having external income from outside of Thailand. Your money will go a whole lot further if you're paid from outside of Thailand when it comes to taxes, as well as when it comes to the exchange rate. 4, have enough savings to get you settled in and be able to build your network. Be prepared to pay hidden fees like visa extensions, travel, and extended stays outside of the country. You'll also have hidden fees when it comes to rent, where you have to pay up to 2 to 3 months of advance payment on top of your monthly rent. And finally, have an emergency exit plan. Always have enough money in your savings to fly home if money, work, etc. get tight. So those are my tips. Tourist visa first to get the lay of the land. Fly out to extend your visas. Have external income and utilize that exchange rate. Have enough savings so that you can spend time building your network. Be prepared to pay hidden fees. And always have an exit strategy. If you are interested in more videos like this and want to know more about why you should move to Thailand, let me know and check out my other videos. Like, subscribe, and follow. It does make a huge difference.